Alright guys, hello and welcome back to another episode here on the channel. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for the feedback, the views, the likes and everything we got on the 500 to 1000 ELO Caro Can. Now, in this one, as I said, one of the more common openings I play is the Vienna game. So let's just get straight into it. I'll show you, and keep in mind, these are my most common games. This is what I come up against the most, and I'm going to explain the moves I make and why I make them. I had a comment in the previous video mentioning about in the Caro-Kann move that I made being A6. That is a move out of preference. It's not a move that's needed. It's a move that I feel comfortable with. I seem to have success with. So that's all that this is. It's not a large, in-depth, kind of opening tutorial. This is just what is most commonly played at my level out of the hundreds of games that I have played in these positions. So maybe you might learn something. You may see something that's quite common whenever you're playing, and you may learn something new. But anyway, this is a position for the Vienna. For the white pieces, it starts off with the king's pawn, e4, followed by e5. You then develop the knight from b to c, b1 to c3. So after this, the second most common move I come up against is knight c6. Now, your ultimate goal is to get this pawn here, put pressure on stopping his pieces developing. But we can't do this move because if we go ahead and we move this here, he's got this absolutely vital check. It's a really difficult check. Now, yes, you can defend it and re-attack his queen, but then you have a pawn structure that you didn't intend on having. It wasn't your intention. So what usually happens, or what I commonly do after this position, is immediately get our bishop out, and this goes into the Max Lang defense. This is Vienna game Max Lang defense. More commonly then they then follow up getting their knight out, to which we then would push f4, going out with a normal plan. So if he takes, we push. If he takes again, attacking our bishop, we could re-attack. Well, that would give it up. No, so you wouldn't do that. I'm taking a completely different position. But yeah, this is the second most common move I see. This is how most of my games go. And then it goes into slightly different variations. It becomes, you can get a mirrored image. Well, it would be my move, so say we go here, and pawn structures are same. We could get our knight out, had the exact same duplicate position, and from here you just kind of got to go on yourself. It's this specific position is called the Bishop's Opening Berlin Vienna Hybrid Variation. There's just so many different types, lines and everything you can go down, but the main one on how to get almost a perfect Vienna is you get your knight out, they then put their knight onto f6. This allows us to play f4. After f4, most common move I've had it come up against is the knight being developed. Other variations can be e takes, which is brilliant, because then immediately we would push forward. His knight doesn't really have anywhere to go, so it can go out to the rim, but it can't even because it'd be taken. So most commonly you would get the knight dropping back. And then we just take a big center here. So say tries to develop, continuing. We just have a massive center. Our knights, our pawns are as far up, and then this pawn is very easy for taking. Occasionally I'll see this move. Now you can't take, obviously it's defended by the queen, and you can't take because that'll just be losing your bishop. But you would just continue as normal. You can go out, trade off a few pieces. But this structure that we have in the centre with the two knights and the two pawns is the ideal start. It's how you want to take the space away from your opponent and continue the game. So I would most commonly get the knight coming out. In this position then, we go f takes e5. Okay. After this, the knight would take. We immediately strike back in the centre, putting pressure on the knight. He can't take this pawn because it's defended. He can't go forward because he'd be taken. He can't go here, be taken. So most commonly they'll go back, or on the very rare occasion they'll go knight to g6. But the most common move will go back to the position. We then just, again, so you see this same structure, the pawns go forward, the knight has to jump back, we get our knight out defending everything. You will likely get this move or this move, trying to re-strike back in the centre. A very key feature here of the Vienna is the moment that this knight moves, so we go take, the moment this knight moves, we have to put our knight out here defending this check. As said, well, we can't do it at the moment, say we just make a normal move like this, that's check, and you just get yourself in a reactive position, so you're reacting to the moves that your opponent's making, and you don't want that. You want to take the lead in the game, and you want to be able to call the shots. So as you see here, we'll go knight takes, f takes e5, knight takes e5, attack, falls back, we attack again, and then immediately get our knight out, blocking this check from the queen. Excuse me. I had a game, it continued like this. He got his knight out. I immediately pinned this pawn to his king, so then he can't take again. And it went just a normal, very common. I believe this is a game we won. Traded off the queens, traded off the pieces because we were just up. And yeah, this is how the game continued. There's obviously so much better moves that you can be making and everything. We're going to have another look here at bishop, or well, no, not our bishop getting out. So we go f4, again, attacking the pawn in the centre. After this, we have had variations of d5. So this one throws me off. It's quite confusing. I do have a 100% win rate against whenever this move is played. One of the games I've just went f takes e as normal, to which they would jump into the centre. I would just then trade off and continue development as normal, trying to focus on this pawn, destroy their pawn structure, and deal with the aftermath later. What else have we had? We've also had well, this is the main line. So this is the main line of the Vienna. Now I don't know it. I've not learnt it. And yeah, actually f takes e is the main line of the Vienna. I probably should look into that, be good. But then I've also just defended our centre. I did block in our bishop, but then, you can always go here, Viennato it, or Viennato. And trading off queens, we did lose the right to castle, but that didn't need to happen. You could have just taken with a knight, but yes, you would have lost this pawn. But the main thing of the Vienna, and the most common move you'll see, is knight f6. You then push your pawn. They would then just say normally develop. You take, they take, you push, they fall back, you push, and you just have a massive, massive centre here. So say again, they just attack. There we go. We have this amazing structure sitting here in the centre. And that's your goal. You want to put pressure on the knights very, very early. Say for example, the game goes, it's our move, so say for example the game goes here, you push, they have to fall back, you then push again, they come out. Well, I did forget my key part there. As soon as this knight moves back, you block the check, you stop this pawn from advancing, they come out, attack the centre, you just keep going. Say they make another move, pinning us here. I've come up against that a few times. And you just have so much more development because you're attacking the pieces, because you're calling the shots, and that's a key thing. If you do want to go more in depth, I do recommend go to Chessly, Gotham Chess's free website, and you'll learn all of this. You'll learn more deeper variations, some massive, ridiculous tricks as well. Now, what if your opponent just goes here first? Okay, so you've got a mirrored image at the moment. So I've had plenty of games. Some have went h3. It's been my choice. Where again, these are ones that I've won. So h3, b3, d3. We'll go g3 even in some situations. Knight f3. Just get the 4 knights out. So then they go 4 knights, and you're just into a very, very common, one of the most popular games probably ever played. And yeah, like there's not much really that can go further into the Vienna. So as I said, we'll start from the basics. You got your king's pawn out. After the king's pawn, they have to do this. If they do something else, this is a Scandinavian defense. If they do attack you from the flank, this is a Duras gambit. That's obviously the Sicilian, which I hate so much. I hate the Sicilian. So yeah, king's pawn. You then defend it with this knight. They redefend. You attack in the center where you're flank pawn. If they attack, you push. They fall back. You get your knight out, stopping this check. Instead, if they don't, and they decide to bring out another attacker or defender, you would then just start calling the shots. You trade pawns. You attack the center, and now you just have this massive control over the middle, and there's nothing that they can do. You can go take, and you just have massive control. Now, yes, this pawn is quite weak, but it's currently defended by your queen, so keep your eye out on that there. I do lose that pawn. I lose the pawn quite often. But anyway, guys, they are how most of my games go. You'll realise the difference in higher level as you are going along. You just got to learn it for yourself. Again, this is one of the, if not, I think this is the first opening I ever studied on Chessly.com by Gotham, and it was brilliant. It was very fun to learn, do all the wee different lines, to learn what you do if your opponent blocks with the queen. You would usually do the same, pin both pawns, get the queens off the board quite early. But excuse me, so say something like take again. You push, they fall back. You push, they fall back, because you just have a massive control over the center, and even in this position. Excuse me, you can attack the queen. Oh my god, my throat. Get a wee bit of Coca-Cola. Ooh, freshness. Then in this position, they block. We can then just go for a trade of queens. So if he trades, we just take there, and we do not lose the right to castle. They would then likely develop. You just trade off a few more pieces, and you're calling the shots. Like, you're calling the shots. Your opponent's it's got enough moves. The bishop is blocked here. Yes, it can go here, stopping us from castling long. This bishop can come out and pin, but that'll be a useless pin. It could go here, but it's stopping the development of their pawn. You can just get so many good positions. It's nice. Whenever you get the Vienna going, it is nice. It flows. All the moves are quite easy to see and understand. But anyway, guys, I am trying to master these. I'm trying to, not the openings, I'm trying to kind of get the simplified videos down. Again, I want to say thank you so much for all the feedback and the watching and the likes and everything on our last episode. But do keep in mind, these are games from my experience. I am no pro. I do not claim to be a pro. I do not, don't get me wrong, I'd probably like to be a pro, but that's likely not going to happen. So these are just from my experience. They're probably more likely to happen with you than some massive major mainline opening, depending on your ELO and stuff. So yeah, if there's again any feedback for this, what you would have done in certain positions, how you feel about the Vienna game if you have tried it, and again, I would really recommend that you go down and you check Chessly by Gotham Chess and study these openings, because there's so many free courses. That's where I learned most of this, as well as the Caro-Kann. You can learn so much more that I'm obviously not going to know. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. Bye bye.